Hello there, good people, and welcome to It's a Shaw Thing. I'm your host, Rob Shaw. We're talking some college football today, my friends. What a wild weekend, to say the least. We saw some top-ranked teams fall, and on that note, we have a brand new top three, which brings about the obvious question: are these three teams legit? Can they maintain their position throughout the remainder of the season? Now remember, last year a lot of teams fell. I remember at one point USF was up there. I remember at one point BC was the second team in the nation before FSU took care of them. So on that note, what about these three? Let's start off with the number one. That's Oklahoma. Are they the best team in the nation? I say no. Best team they've played against so far was TCU. That was a game that they actually got to play at home. And if you look at their schedule from here on out, it's pretty favorable. They play against Texas, Kansas, Texas Tech, three solid teams all at home. The only game on the road against a nationally ranked foe happens to be against Oklahoma State. They're currently ranked 21st in the nation. That will be their season finale. Well, that team might be good. I have to say, their offense looks great. 35-plus points in all four wins so far. But are they the best? Do they have the best test on their schedule for the remainder of the season? I give you a defiant absolutely no. As far as who does, well, let's take a look at teams 2 and 3, both coming from the SEC. And number 2, Alabama. What a weekend they had, to say the least. How did they climb all the way up the ranks? Easy. Knocked off a top 3 team in the University of Georgia at the University of Georgia. They were winning 31-0 at the half. This is a team that's just off to a stellar start this season. They're 5-0. First game of the year was against a top 10 team at Clemson. They won that one 34-10. Other tests, well, first game against an SEC foe, 49-14 at Arkansas. I told you they knocked off Georgia. Who do they play next? A couple of easy ones, considering they are SEC teams, and that is Kentucky and Ole Miss. And then the great test comes forward. November 8th, put it on your schedule. That's when they play against third-ranked LSU at LSU. So if Alabama does win out somehow, some way, in my opinion, it's easy. They are the top team in the nation. Well, another team that if they win out could be a top team in the nation. How about the defending champion LSU Tigers? They're off to a very nice start as well. They've already knocked off Auburn. That was a top 10 team at the time. And they're looking all right. They remain undefeated, and guess what? They have some teams that they have to play against, considering they have to go and travel to the University of Florida. They then have to host the University of Georgia. They also have to host Bama, as I mentioned before. If somehow they're able to remain undefeated after all of that, that is your top-ranked team in the nation. As far as those other teams I mentioned from the SEC, University of Florida, University of Georgia, two very good teams. They have incredible schedules when you consider who they're playing against. And on that note, in my opinion, if they do just suffer one loss this season, remember there is an SEC title game. If those teams lose just one on the season, they should be a top 2 team. They will compete in the national championship game. Well, my friends, that's It's a Shaw Thing for now. So we looked at the top 3. Oklahoma, number 1 right now, might be able to stay there for a little while, considering their schedule is the easiest of all the other top 3s. But in all, I don't think they are the best. Have a good weekend. I'll see you next time around.
So you think you can tackle a pro? There's only one way to find out. Click on fantasy at opensports.com.